Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Propagandacast with me, Imperial Dane. And as you can see before you, we have more wrecked trains for you. In fact, this is the 1 versus 1 map, wrecked train. And yes, the map does live up to the naming of it, and that's it's absolutely grand. So following up on Rails and Metals, which also features wrecked trains, one would almost believe that if it wasn't for the fact that a lot of trains got blown up, Relic had a problem with trains. But I don't believe that is the issue. Nonetheless, we could imagine this is the follow-up of the previous fight as the Americans march towards Cherbourg, and of course this means we'll probably be seeing the 91st Luftlandau or something similar trying to hold the line, whereas probably will be seeing some infantry following up after the armored division's crash. 4th Infantry Division being led by Captain Rommelslayer. That's a very cheerful name, unless you're a German, of course, in which case you might have a bit of a problem. Facing off him will be Kraz0r911, or K-Racer, I'm not entirely sure. With a bit of a kitten crowd right there will probably be the Panzergrenadier Regiment. I do believe they had attached to them, although I'm a bit unsure on that. So let's not get too caught up. But nonetheless, we do have a bit of an interesting map here. Almost straight on a line, we do see those 3 victory points right here. Quite interesting, actually. I didn't know you could do that from this angle. But with the western point being a lot less low in resources, but at the same time it's a lot more defensible. There are buildings there, and there, meaning for example machine guns, rifles can really get much more stronger defense, whereas here in the east you'll find the only medium yield fuel point, but at the same time there are no buildings to actually use from, so it's going to be a much harder spot to actually defend. Anyhow, let's get on with this as the doom of Cherbourg seems to be closely approaching. Kitten crowd on the move. Will probably be most likely seeing some Panzergrenadiers unless he goes for more kitten crabs, which I wouldn't exactly wish upon him. Barracks being set up there, so nothing unusual there. No weapon support center start, and no for engineer, sniper, or barracks or anything like that. 2nd engineer team, and that looks like to be it. Very nice. Regular start. Cherbourg being one of the major targets of the Allied advance, since that actually meant they would have a port so they could get in some more supplies. And while a lot of people say, well, yes, the Americans had a lot of supplies, resources and all that, yes they did, but trouble is there's a sort of thing they actually need to get all those vast amounts of resources through, and trouble was they couldn't really get that because, well, those Mulberry harbors they were supposed to have weren't really that good, got blown up in storms, which rather limited things, and of course they needed some actual harbors to get some of all those nice supplies in. In fact, this route, most of the war, the Americans suffered hugely in terms of resource problems, congestions and logistics. So again, to have a sort of equal base here, right, in terms of resources, is actually pretty accurate. The Americans did have a lot of trouble getting all those through, and of course the riflemen did suck up a lot of resources, thus increasing upkeep. For example, compared to the German soldier, they were of course requiring a lot more food and such. The German soldier was quite adapted at that, and we have a bit of discussion right here on the map here. No, I don't believe there has been any changes, and we see some Panzergrenadiers stopping up here with their Gewehr 43s, overlooking this small piece of the river perhaps, or just waiting for something. Could be they were waiting to ambush an engineer team. And riflemen getting engaged right out in the open, but they are quick to stop and seek up cover behind this wrecked railway car. Panzergrenadiers continuing to fire away from their own cover, some being a bit more exposed than others, but now they're quick to get back. And looks like these riflemen will be partly exposed again. Remember, heavy cover is directional, so if you're not actually in the proper direction, it's not going to do anything. And yellow cover, basically, light cover, basically only obfuscates your troops to the enemy, making them harder to hit, but doesn't provide any protection against damage, which heavy cover actually does. Riflemen sneaking about, and they are lost to the elite Panzergrenadiers, who have marched forward so far. Engineers moving towards the east, and what do we see here? A medic station. The sort of thing that I'm talking about, and we're actually seeing an American putting it up. Brilliant. And considering again where this will probably be the central line of fighting, this is actually probably a pretty good spot. Engineers coming under fire though from Panzergrenadiers with Gewehr 43s, firing away, not looking good for those engineers. One already down, wounded. You can see the blood on the ground, and the other two are probably considering getting out there. There we go. One down and...
Lost a unit.
Oh dear, engineer
They're all
team is
dead.
down. Lost. There might have been some attempt at getting it up, but sometimes you do get when you try to order your troops to retreat and you discover, oh right, I'm hitting the wrong hotkey, or something just not happening. It happens from time to time. In my case, it's usually because I'm hitting the wrong key. It's rather depressing. Riflemen marching out, not fully reinforced though, and those other chaps are forced to pull back as the Panzergrenadiers
You're losing a
prove to be
munition
too
sector.
much, and so far we're seeing 5 Panzergrenadier teams. In fact, no infantry support, and we are probably going to see a 6th Panzergrenadier team, so that's probably going to be a lot of Panzergrenadiers. Medics pulling back some of those engineers towards the medic station, so that his engineer is probably thanking his maker for that brave medic to come all that way to save him. 3 rifleman teams, and we are seeing pineapple grenades. Yes indeed, I haven't really been showing a lot of matches where pineapple grenades have been used. Some of them in one case because, well, it was a bit too easy, I felt, for the other one once the pineapple grenades began flying. But I figured it might have been time, because you're going to see a lot of more Americans being using them because they've been made a lot more accurate. And they're more or less in the same effective size as the bunker grenade, albeit I don't believe quite as effective, but still quite devastating because they're a lot cheaper. And there we go, large fight going on. Panzergrenadiers burning straight up close to the Russian riflemen. I then waited over, giving a very nasty surprise as soon as those grenades flying. Oh dear, Panzergrenadier team looks like it's going to be lost.
Enemy
Yes, oh dear, but still 4 on the spot, and I do believe grenades have researched. There we go, one going off. Oh dear, absolutely horrific losses for the Panzergrenadiers, forced into a full retreat. Will those be able to retreat? Oh dear, another down, and oh dear, 1 Panzergrenadier team is left. And another grenade goes off, killing another one. Why didn't he retreat? I mean, we just lost several Panzergrenadier teams right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, I do believe. So that's probably, in fact, yes. He had 6 Panzergrenadier teams, and now he's down to 1 man. That is the devastating effect of pineapple grenades. And of course, another thing is you don't want to get close to riflemen because they're going to have a bit of an advantage. Then why he just blobbed up his men that close is beyond me. And of course, with grenades flying about, it's an even worse idea. So there you go. That rather managed to turn the tides for the Americans. Really broke the back of the Panzer Elite. Now they basically have the entire thing open for them and can just go about seizing territory wherever they want. Looks like Mr. Kraz0r911 is swiftly trying to put up something new. Kraz0r911 company will probably be seeing some sort of armored car rush then, albeit it's not going to be much of a rush by now. More of a desperate gamble in the hopes of turning the tides of war. Kraz0r911 company being finished. Looks like it's going to take some time though, but there we go, finished. And we also see defensive operations up. We're not going to be doing much now with all those Panzergrenadiers having been brutally thrown away. And there we go, Panzerjäger command. So armored cars is mostly likely going to be the deal of the day, but already 7 minutes into the game and already 5 Panzergrenadier teams were lost in a brutal skirmish. So again, be careful when you're seeing Americans, and if you're suddenly seeing them doing the throwing animation, get out of there, because those pineapple grenades are not going to be friendly. They're going to do a lot of damage. So that's generally a good thing to remember. And riflemen marching outwards. Panzergrenadiers moving southwards once more. We'll have to see what will be happening. Supply yard on the way as well from here. Probably going to see some motor pool action, but of course with that armored car quickly on the way, it can probably throw the American commander a bit into disarray if he is a bit panicky, because that can certainly be used still as a shock unit. He might have think, oh right, with those grenades I've certainly turned the tide, but at the same time he's just used a lot of fuel to get those, so he's probably going to be lacking in the anti-armor assets. And engineers up and back, as they can see Panzergrenadiers sneaking in, assault rifles in hand as well. Shall be interesting to see. Armored car still on the way, or is it? Yes, indeed, and he's also getting the Panzerjäger command upgrade, also hoping for some martyrs perhaps to act as his anti-tank assets. Not entirely sure I'd be using resources for that right
Americans
away.
are seizing territory from us.
That is his choice, but there we go. First armored car has hit the field, and we're also seeing infantry company for the Americans. And oh dear, Americans Panzergrenadiers caught off guard, but they did manage in this case to actually dodge the grenade. Most fortunate for them, otherwise I think it would really be looking ugly for the Americans. And now there we go. Armored car moving in. Auto cannon blazing away, but only knocking up some dirt rather than some bodies. And there we go, rifleman dead and retreating finally. The Panzer Elite are securing the western approach, much like those Panzergrenadiers, and riflemen securing the east. But still, looks like the Americans are having the advantage, of course, now getting sticky bombs and a triage center to provide healing, and the medic station is halfway through, but I wager there we go. Medic bravely carrying through a wounded rifleman, and the armored car quickly receiving some emergency repairs from those Panzergrenadiers. Panzergrenadiers being alright at the repair job, but not something I'd necessarily rely on them if it can be avoided. There we go, sticky bomb still on the way, not a lot of fuel, but of course he could get some riflemen, he could get some rangers to sort of counter the lack of fuel, because he's certainly very close. And there we go, 2 command points, but will that give him rangers or will it not?
B is in. Troops can now make sticky bombs.
And flamethrowers now being equipped as well, and
heavy infantry
we are seeing Armada 3, really expecting that sort of armored car or tank from the Americans. Perhaps a bit too much there. Instead we are getting rangers to lead the way, bazookas in hand. And looks like these Panzergrenadiers will be set upon by the American forces. And there we go, throwing animation, pineapple grenade going off, bomb, and 1 Panzergrenadier down, leaving the other 2 left. Not going to end up well, I wager. And there we go, a retreat armored car, fouling a bit but putting quite out of range quickly. Only 1 in fact to actually help those Panzergrenadiers. Not looking good for the Panzer Elite commander, who is in fact around rank 11, although by the time this was in, I do believe he was 12 according to Rommelslayer, who did send this in.
Our fuel point is being taken
so
by the enemy.
So he's not entirely a novice, but one could certainly see that it is certainly lacking some knowledge in the department of pineapple grenades and how not to fight those. And of course perhaps relying a bit too much on armored cars. But there you go. Second armored car once more receiving repairs. A small
supply lines are broken. We have
duo of them.
Out of supply.
Moving forwards, hoping to catch some American infantry, and bazookas are flying. Not a happy